Save Clyst St Mary campaigners have expressed grave reservations after plans for 150 homes and employment land on a high-risk flood zone have been recommended for approval. The plans, submitted by Friends Life Limited, are outline plans for 150 new homes and 0.7 hectares of employment land, which will include full permission for 67 homes and conversion of Winslade House and the stables on the land at Winslade Park. The application is also seeking outline permissions seeking means of access only for up to 83 homes, new workplace units of 1,809 square m, and associated infrastructure on the site of the Aviva buildings in Clyst St Mary. Aerial view of Clyst St Mary. The application has been recommended for approval, despite concerns from local residents and councillors, and initial objections from Devon County Council's Flood Risk Management Team and the Environment Agency, although both have withdrawn their objections following further information having been presented to them. Will the scare acres get you this Halloween? Residents of Clyst St Mary have expressed major concerns due to the flood risk because historically the Grindle Brook and River Clyst have frequently caused severe damage. Clyst Valley Councillor Mike Howe has objected to the application, and said, "I object to this on the grounds of the Conservation Officer, Environment Agency, and ECC Flood Risk Team and totally agree with their comments." Beyond the trees, the proposed employment site Clyst St Mary Parish Council have objected on the grounds of the loss of and removal of the stable club, its swimming pool and gym, and that part of the area lies on a flood zone. Save Clyst St Mary campaigners added, "Although we remain open-minded regarding the eventual solution to this site, and accept that some sort of development is inevitable, the site can't remain abandoned in perpetuity." The Save Clyst St Mary campaign has grave reservations regarding these proposals for Winslade Manor and the Stables block because the developer HASNT offered any solution to a number of key national planning policies such as the flooding that has continued to occur at the site and the proposals to build houses and industrial buildings in the areas that frequently flood, the continual traffic problems, lack of public transport links and the loss of leisure facilities. These are just a few of the many valid reasons why the proposals won't enhance our village. Worryingly, the proposed scheme has numerous other flaws about which we have serious concerns. Clyst House, Winslade Park, Clyst St Mary. The accessibility of guarantees for affordable insurance on households and businesses in flood-prone areas is comforting for existing homes and businesses, but is East Devon District Council so restricted in the availability of quality development sites throughout their sizable district that they are left reliant on recommending development on high-risk flood zones? The outline new build part of the application incorporates very limited information, which the majority of consultees have found insufficient for making informed decisions and have either recommended refusal. Devon County Highways have major concerns, find the proposals unacceptable or object, including Historic England, Sport England, the Parish Council, Ward Councillor and East Devon's Historic Conservation, Landscape, Tree and Environmental Health Departments, plus 225 total objections generated by local residents. For the existing local community of Clyst St Mary, the flood risk is a major concern because historically the Grindle Brook and River Clyst have frequently caused severe damage. Clyst St Mary flooding in 1946. The planning application is for the conversion of the listed Winslade House and stables into 67 residential units and consent for outline permission for the erection of up to 83 dwellings, new office buildings and associated infrastructure on the remainder of the site, and planners have recommended approval as it is considered that the reuse of redundant buildings, the provision of office space and the erection of up to 83 new homes would bring substantial public benefits that would outweigh the limited harm to the setting of the listed building. Fears children's swimming club may be forced to close. East Devon's planning recommendation adds the access road leading into the site, the area where the offices are proposed and areas of land around the Grindle Brook running through the site fall within flood zones 2 and 3 on the Environment Agency's mapping system. The new build employment units are identified to be located adjacent to the entrance drive. Part of this site is within flood zone 2 and a smaller part is in flood zone 3. Clyst St Mary flooding in 1946. While it is not best practice to site new buildings in the flood zone, the allocation of the site is constrained by the flood zones, and if all buildings were sited outside the flood zones, then it is considered that the quantum of development in the allocation could not reasonably be delivered and therefore could affect the viability of the scheme. The employment use would be a less vulnerable use than the residential use, and therefore it is less likely to be used occupied in the event of a flood. Accordingly, it is considered that the proposed location of the employment units based on the illustrative layout would be acceptable and is the most appropriate location. Extensive flooding closed the A376 dual carriageway in 2015. Although the Environment Agency has been provided with a flood risk assessment, their own website states that flood defenses do not completely remove the chance of flooding and can fail in extreme weather conditions, leaving future residential and employment users of this site at risk. The application goes before East Devon District Council's Planning Committee on Tuesday, October 31, at 2 p.m.